Greetings to those watching and listening. I've noticed an increasing demand on the help yourself kinds of books lately. And I have a question to those who prefer these kinds of books. Why don't you pick fiction instead? It's a fictional world, it's not real, I've got issues, it won't do much. Don't give me that. Is that an excuse? I think you should reconsider your attitude if you think that fiction fails to provide a reasonable ground for self reflection and can't possibly help you get over whatever you're going through. Because it can. First of all, literature exists because it satisfies one of the fundamental needs of every human person alive: the need for self actualization. You see, while you read, you solve not only problems of the book, but also your own. Whether adaptive or ideological, you head one step closer to the effect of catharsis. Why is that? Because every fictional world is a creative act of generating the concept of personality. Hold that thought, I'll get back to it later. Any concept, in general, can most adequately be transmitted through the image in writing. Agree? Image, in turn, is a special way of reproducing and cognizing reality. A tool, if I may, that absorbs a synthesis of consciousness and psyche, thought and feeling, and holds it all together. Just think about it. In literature, emotions contain thoughts, and thoughts contain emotions. The image, as well as what it reflects, the personality of the fictional character in the story, follows the same building rules as the personality in real life. Any fictional person has a temper as its biological aspect, and a personality pattern as a social one. Together, they determine worldview and attitudes, the way character fits into the situations. Ultimately, the personality always forms the character, and can change it if it wishes, but the character also provides feedback, forming a personality. In other words, you not only act in accordance with what you are, but also become in accordance with the way you act. If you find that thought interesting, I'd recommend you reading Immanuel Kant and his works on categorical imperative. Do you remember that thought I asked you to stick to earlier? That every fictional world is a creative act of generating the concept of personality? Well, every plot choice made, every character in the story, every word said, judgment or praise made, every context is a generated image of the author. Not to be confused with the narrator, there's a difference. The author's vision of the world is the highest authority in the work. But his superconsciousness itself is rarely personified. It is invisibly present only in the concepts of personalities of his characters, in their actions, states, and the way they deal with the challenges. Speaking in the language of personalities always presupposes the one who speaks them, the very real author. I want you to understand this. There's no artistic truth at all. It's always uttered by someone. It has a creator. The artistic world is personal, biased, subjective. Have you ever read the book and disagreed with the author's decision? That's an amazing thing, isn't it? The conflict with the author's position. No, I'm going too far. So, to summarize everything I mentioned, you check the correctness of your choices and ideals, your own personality, by comparing them with those of the author, even if you don't realize it. You test the author based on your version of correctness, and while doing so, you at the same time test yourself. So, what do you need self help books for?